Hi everyone. So apparently the London Mayor is facing pressure to implement road user charging to meet ambitious net zero targets by the end of the decade. Not sure where this pressure is coming from really though. Do you? Recent reports suggest that Sadiq Khan's administration may need to introduce a pay per mile system for motorists in order to achieve these environmental goals, which, bear in mind, are now being changed as apparently unachievable. Despite Khan's previous denials, or indeed lies, whichever way you want to look at it, of such a policy, evidence from official documents, including his transport strategy and a 2023 book, indicate consideration of road user charging. Conservatives, notably Khan's rival Susan Hall, have criticised the mayor's stance, arguing that it lacks transparency and reliability. The debate over road user charging has intensified as London gears up for the mayoral elections, with environmental concerns taking centre stage in the campaign. Surprise, surprise, get the general public to vote for you based on very small truths without reading the well-hidden but very nasty small print. In addition to political scrutiny, sustainability consultancy firm Element Energy was commissioned by the Mayor's office in January 2022 to explore pathways to carbon neutrality. Their findings suggest that implementing road user charging early is essential to achieving significant reductions in carbon emissions. Now there's a surprise. The research highlights an accelerated green pathway aimed at reducing residual emissions by 22% by 2030, which would necessitate London-wide road user charging by the mid to late 2020s. Khan's 2024 election manifesto reaffirms his commitment to making London a net zero carbon city by 2030, positioning it as a leader in environmental initiatives among global cities. However, the feasibility and public acceptance of road user charging remain key challenges for the Mayor's ambitious agenda. Now then, though this scheme in theory is a great one, and before you shoot me down, hear me out. The only part of the scheme I agree with is the net zero part. As for the rest of it, and what I have seen elsewhere on different platforms, this is just another money-making scam. If you want this to work in its true reality and make London, and really the rest of Britain, as this is where this scheme will undoubtedly end up going, is to get rid of these fossil-fueled combustion engines altogether. Now there are technologies which have been invented, tried and tested, but never allowed to be used to make these engines far more efficient than you would probably ever believe. For example, there have been kits which have been added to these engines, which have made engines doing, for example, 20 to 30 mpg to increase to 180 to 200 miles per gallon plus, whilst in the meantime reducing harmful emissions by over 80%. I kid you not on this is a fact. Some people might say conspiracy theories, etc., but why would it be? Keep your mind open. There are new technologies being invented, introduced into our society every day. Look just how far your mobile phone has come in 10 years. If I get a chance, I shall try and go into this in a later video. Going back to engines. What about hydrogen engines? Fill the fuel tank up with water and let the engine, which can do the splitting of water into pure hydrogen, do the rest. Again, there have been several inventions on this, and again, disinformation and the disappearance of the paperwork, not to mention the inventor's demise, puts an end to these inventions. There's a surprise. So, going back to not being allowed. It will never be. As someone said to me a while back, technologies like these will never be allowed to be used, as how else will the big corporations, the government, etc., make money from you? It is always the end user, the working class, etc., who really don't have a choice but to use the technologies which have been given that have to foot the bill and pay the price for the greed of these groups in society. ULEZ, LES and pay per mile should not be our bill to pay. It should be the big corporations and the governments that should foot the bill, as they are not allowing us to use these technologies. I can see the points in this. Can you? Let me know down in the comments.